not every rock band from the 1970s broke through to the mainstream. These are the cult favorites and near misses that fans insist should have been bigger.
Without love, I have no treasures. Without love, my life.
Here are 10 underrated rock bands from the 1970s that deserve a second listen. Number 10, Nitzinger. Armed with Texas grit and bluesy bravado, guitarist John Nitzinger steered this act through the Southwest's rock venues during the early part of the decade. Their signature tune, Louisiana Cockfight, mixes roadhouse rhythms with wry storytelling. While Yellow Dog, from their 1972 debut on Capitol Records, showcases Nitzinger's dexterous fretwork and swaggering vocals. Despite an opening stint with B.B. King and support from local radio, the group never made inroads on national charts, keeping their albums in circulation mainly in southern record bins. Fans of hard rock treasure these cuts for their raw, danceable energy, a contrast to the era's sprawling jams and proto-metal experiments. When arena acts cornered the big stages, this band thrived in smoky clubs where every riff could be felt through the floor. The group's sound still attracts those who love sweating it out at intimate gigs and small-town record shops. Number 9, Camel. Progressive motifs and atmospheric guitar passages distinguish this British quartet, anchored by Andrew Latimer's nuanced playing. Their instrumental epic Lady Fantasy remains a touchstone for prog fans, seamlessly weaving between intricate solos and shifting time signatures. Another standout, The Snow Goose, was the title track of a 1975 concept album recorded at Island Studios in London, a project inspired by the Paul Gallico novella and produced with lush orchestration. The record managed a modest appearance at number 22 on the UK album chart, but never found mainstream airplay, leaving its dreamy storytelling to be discovered by devotees of sophisticated rock. College students in the 1970s often swapped these albums for all-night headphone sessions, appreciating both Latimer's melodic invention and the group's adventurous spirit. In an era marked by high-profile progressive giants, this act secured a quieter but enduring place in the genre's tapestry. Number 8, Be-Bop Deluxe. Experimenting with art rock and glam, this British outfit blended Bill Nelson's imaginative guitar leads with futuristic lyrics. The 1976 track Ships in the Night demonstrated the band's knack for melodic complexity. While Made in Heaven, from the 1975 album Futurama, gave fans an early taste of their genre-hopping innovation. That album was produced at Abbey Road Studios, adding a layer of polish that set them apart from more straightforward guitar acts. Despite critical praise across the United Kingdom, Ships in the Night only reached number 23 on the UK singles chart, limiting their reach mainly to dedicated followers. During a period when punk began challenging traditional rock, the group's work resonated with listeners tuned in to the changing tide. Their albums still surface in the new wave and glam sections of specialty shops, reverberating among those who favor the left-field corners of the 1970s.
Sailing our souls down the river.
Number 7. Starz. Cleveland native Michael Lee Smith gave this act's vocals a bluesy edge, while Richie Rano's guitar work added a hard rock gleam to their best-loved tracks. Cherry Baby became their closest thing to a hit, combining catchy hooks with a sleazy charm symbolic of the mid-1970s.
Cherry baby, cherry, cherry, oh.
The single Detroit Girls from the 1976 debut also remains a cult favorite, oozing swagger over crunchy riffs.
Talking about your Detroit girls, you and me. Oh.
Their albums, produced by Jack Douglas, famed for his work with Aerosmith, came out on Capitol Records, but failed to climb beyond number 94 on the Billboard 200, preventing wider fame. Touring as openers for acts like Kiss, they built loyal followings at arena shows and late-night FM radio blocks. For countless hard rock fans, their music became a treasured find in bargain bins and a constant fixture at local vinyl listening parties, a testament to those who dig deep beyond the obvious hits. Number 6. Lucifer's Friend. Munich's burgeoning rock scene in the early part of the decade nurtured this German-English hybrid, led by vocalist John Lawton. Tracks like Ride in the Sky, steeped in early progressive metal energy, found the group blending urgent brass with powerful riffing, while Keep Going highlighted Lawton's dynamic range over driving rhythms. Their self-titled 1970 debut arrived via Vertigo Records. But with little radio promotion outside Germany, the album became a lost classic rather than a commercial break. Devoted listeners discovered their ambitious sound through college radio and import sections of independent record stores, often trading recommendations at vinyl fairs. During a climate dominated by blues and glam, this act became a touchstone for those craving heavier textures. The group's intricate compositions and dramatic vocals live on among collectors, proving that rock's underground always harbored progressive visionaries. We're halfway through, and the bands from the 1970s are stirring up deep-cut memories. Which of these underrated acts did you champion, or discover years later through a crate dig or playlist? Got a cult favorite we missed that should have been bigger? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear the names that never left your rotation. Number 5. Sir Lord Baltimore. Thunderous volume and frenetic tempos marked this Brooklyn-based power trio's brief but blistering output in the first half of the 1970s. Their signature track, Kingdom Come, showcased drummer-vocalist John Garner's relentless percussion and raw singing, underpinned by Louis D'Ambra's distorted proto-metal guitar. The group also impressed on Master Heartache. Both tracks featured on their 1970 debut recorded at Vantage Studios. Although produced by Mike Appel, who later managed Bruce Springsteen, the album's initial pressing on Mercury Records failed to chart. Still, the group's intensity earned underground respect among hard rock and early metal enthusiasts, with their records circulating at record fairs and specialty shops. Theirs is a sound often cited as a blueprint for the heavy genres that emerged later in the decade, quietly amassing a cult following through the kind of passionate word of mouth that kept obscure vinyl alive. Number 4. Trapeze. Shifting lineups and bold experimentation defined this West Midlands group, who introduced listeners to rising star Glenn Hughes. His soulful bass and commanding vocals powered tracks like Medusa, released as the centerpiece of their 1970 album produced by John Lodge of the Moody Blues. Another classic, Black Cloud, drew from British blues and hard rock, offering a glimpse into the future sound of Deep Purple, who would later recruit Hughes. While the band toured extensively in both the United Kingdom and United States club circuits, only Medusa briefly grazed the lower reaches of American FM radio charts. Their hypnotic rhythms and genre-blurring songwriting made them favorites among fans frequenting local record stores and university radio, especially as the early 1970s rock scene flirted with progressive and heavy influences. Devotees still recall the band's dynamic live performances and remarkable musicianship as highlights of a golden era. Number 3, Leaf Hound. Everybody was scratching, but nobody saw. London's blues rock underground in the early part of the decade saw acts like this one making waves that would outlast their brief initial run. Their signature riff-heavy song, Growers of Mushroom, featuring Peter French's raw vocals, was recorded in just 11 hours at Spot Studios, giving the album an urgent, unpolished feel. Another standout, Drowned My Life in Fear, reflects a heaviness that places them alongside proto-metal pioneers. Although the Growers of Mushroom LP was released in 1971 on Decca, it was barely distributed, making original pressings some of the most sought-after collectibles in rock. At the time, the group rarely played outside small UK venues, yet later generations discovered these recordings through rare vinyl hunts and reissues. While legends like Led Zeppelin dominated the airwaves, this band's impact was quietly felt among aficionados scouring head shops and boutique record stores. Number 2, Budgie. Emerging from Cardiff, Wales, this outfit forged an early connection to heavy metal's roots, while never quite breaking into the mainstream. Their 1973 single Bread Fan showcased Burke Shelley's gritty vocals and bass, supported by Tony Borges' searing guitar work. Combination on full display in the equally explosive Crash Course in Brain Surgery. That latter track, dating to their 1971 self-titled debut, would eventually be covered by Metallica, a testament to its underground staying power. Budgie's albums were released on MCA Records, yet rarely charted outside the UK, keeping the group's legend alive primarily among British hard rock fans. The band's riff-laden sound packed smoky clubs and, decades later, found new admirers through metalheads trading battered cassettes. For those schooled in the deep cuts of British rock, this trio remains a revered but elusive gem of the era. Number 1, Big Star. Churning out earnest power pop in the early 1970s, this Memphis-based act shaped countless bands that followed. Alex Chilton's plaintive vocals paired with Chris Bell's jangly guitar on songs like September Girls, lending bittersweet resonance to every melody. September Girls, I don't know why. How can I Before making waves among crate diggers, the group released 13 as part of their debut Water One record in 1972. That album appeared on Ardent Records, but struggled to find traction due to distribution woes, never making a dent on the Billboard 200 in its time. Years later, September Girls would become a cult college radio staple, surfacing on mixtapes for heartbroken listeners. Fans who grew up browsing the rock section at record shops swear by their shimmering production and vulnerable lyrics. This outfit never reached stadium-level fame, but their influence echoes throughout the work of REM and the Replacements, rewarding those who dig a little deeper.